everyone, for staying with us right here on the program. Let's now take the conversation about the agreement between the federal government and the Nigerian Labour. Now, the Labour has agreed that it will suspend the strike for 30 days. It means that the federal government needs to deliver on its plan. But again, what a lot of people are not looking critically at is those things that the federal government promised to do, are they doing it? Serap had gone to town to say the state government, some of them have been given 2 billion naira as a first installment in the 5 billion earmark to be disbursed to the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT. How have they spent it? They should come forward to account for these monies tonight. We shall be engaging the president of the Trade Union Congress, who also is the president of PENGASSAN, because this is what the NNPC released earlier today. The NNPC had come to town to say it's against the talks in town that there are possibilities of the increment in price of petrol, that will not happen in any of the NNPC dispensing stations. Let's speak with Comrade Festus Osifo, the president of TUC and PENGASSAN. Thank you so much indeed for your time tonight.
Thank you so much, Shegun. Good evening, and good evening, viewers.
Thank you so much. Did you also hear that there are possibilities of the hike in price of petrol?
Yes, the speculation has actually been there, looking at the fundamentals, because two basic things that contribute to the pricing today is actually the exchange rate and the price of the crude in international market. You know, in the last few weeks, the price of crude has actually been going up, inching towards $95 per barrel. So based on that, there are speculations that there may be increase in the price of PMS. But behind the scene, we have been engaging government and trying to make them understand that there is no basis for that. Because for us, you know, when they floated the exchange rate, you could recall that the exchange rate was moving at a very fast speed before some interventions came. That today, the exchange rate, the official exchange rate, is around $770 per 770 naira per dollar. So what we have told them is that all international agencies, if you look at it, JP Morgan Chase, if you look at it, Bank of America, and all whatnot, they have actually said that our naira today is undervalued. What that means is that our naira should be exchanging somewhere around 600 to 630 naira to a dollar. And if government is able to push it down to that range, then we could be buying PMS at a little reduced rate compared to where it is today. So we have told government that there is no basis for us to be buying PMS at a price higher than what we have today, but instead it should go down. But the controlling factor is actually the exchange rate. So if they could work on the exchange rate the way today is somewhere pegged around 770 naira to a dollar. But if the true value of the exchange rate come to bear around $600 to 600 naira to a dollar, then we could even buy PMS at a cheaper rate.
Clarify for us, because you understand the oil and gas sector. Is the government subsidizing in any way since the removal of subsidy in May?
Yes. So
is federal government putting any money to absorb the shock?
We have to be honest with Nigerians. As of today, I could tell you, if you look at the crude oil price, there's what they call Platt. So if you Google it, you could see the Platt index. If you check the Platt index, that will give you the landing, or rather the ex-factory price, the ex-depot price from Rotterdam. So if you look at it and you convert it using our current exchange rate, you know that the landing cost in Nigeria today ought to be even more than what they are dispensing at the pump. What that means is that somebody is bearing the additional cost, which is government. But Shehu, our cry is this: we should manage our FX more effectively compared to the way we are managing it today. If the true value of our FX is around 600 naira to a dollar, if that is a true value, government should find a way to manage it and get it to around that 600 naira to a dollar. If you do that, there is no need for paying subsidy. The reason we are paying subsidy today is because our exchange rate has run away. And if we continuously allow it to run, it will be a nightmare for everyone.
So, Nigerians may not understand, and I am not understanding. So there's some kind of subsidy being paid by the federal government.
Yes, correct.
Is that right?
They are paying subsidy today.
Is that morally right? For government to say we have removed subsidy and then in some backyard they are already paying for another subsidy.
Sheung, you could see what has happened in the last few months when subsidy was removed. You could see the challenges that an average Nigerian has passed through. You could see that some Nigerians are sleeping in their place of work today. So it's been very, very difficult. But government has the tools with which they could use in managing the exchange rate more effectively so that the subsidy will totally disappear. But they are not using it.
Where do we go from here? Because if the president had said and declared no going back on subsidy, and he had already said that we are actually subsidizing corruption. So, I mean, if that's the case, is it not another kind of corruption that we're seeing?
It is the function of government to fight corruption. The reason, okay, like I said earlier.
Shouldn't Nigerians be told exactly what is going on?
Yes, they should come clean. Regime? Yes, the government has to come clean. In reality today, there is subsidy because as when the earlier price was determined, the price of crude in international market was somewhere around less than $80 to a barrel. But today it has moved to about $93, $94 for Brent crude per barrel. So because it has moved, then the price also needed to move. The only reason the price will not move is when you are able to manage your exchange rate effectively and you are able to pump in supply and bring down the exchange rate. So if the exchange rate comes down today, we will not be paying subsidy. But with the exchange rate value and also the value of, or rather the price of the crude international market, we have introduced exchange.
He was supposed, the removal of subsidy is supposed to put the regime in an autopilot, determined by the forces, the market forces. But it looks like the federal government is manually controlling it to put a shock on the effect of it. Is that what they are trying to do?
Yes, I also see that probably the federal government has also woken up. They have also seen that allowing the subsidy to go fully the way it was, and with the price of crude going up, Nigerians are going to pay more. So the sufferings will increase compared to where it was before.
The fear could be the outcry of Nigerians.
Absolutely.
In the possibility of increments, a further increase in the, and what labor is, the pressure labor is putting on the federal government.
Yes, that's correct. Because if today you increase it again, you are doubling the pains of Nigerians. If you increase it today, if everything has gone up in Nigeria by over 200, 300%. So if you increase it today, what you are doing is that you are moving it from about 300% probably to 400 or 500%.
Is this federal government sincere?
Sincerity could be relative. For us, I think they should come clean and be much more transparent.
Absolutely, that's my question. Yes. Because if they say subsidy is gone, and a few weeks down the line, they're paying on the back door subsidy, is it sincerity to Nigerian people?
You know, for us in labor, anything that will affect the plight of Nigerians positively, we are in for it. Because with the exchange rate today, like as I have said, and the price of crude, if they don't manage it very well, then we could not be buying, the pump price could rise to somewhere around maybe 800 or 850 naira per liter. And that will impoverish Nigerians.
Just like we see in some other countries.
Yeah, absolutely, because it goes up and down. Yeah.
So, you told me and you made a promise on this program that the labor union will put pressure on the state and you have your men in your committees to monitor what is going on. One is the state of the refineries. Second is the disbursement of these palliatives. What do you know now?
Yes, correct. So for us, like I said in one of your programs, that we actually set up a committee at the zonal level across the 6 geopolitical zones to collate reports on what each of the states have done. But when we set up that committee, we wanted to set a benchmark from the national level. And that benchmark was actually set on Monday. On Monday night, we set that benchmark by saying that the federal government has agreed to pay the federal workers 35,000 naira per month as wage award. So since that benchmark has been set, some states that hitherto was thinking of paying about 15,000, 20,000 naira, they have said that they are going to key in and also pay their state workers a wage award of 35,000 naira. So because that benchmark came on Tuesday, so what we are now doing is to restudy the entire environment and see which of the states have agreed to pay the 35,000 naira, and which of the states is still going to do something below that. So today, the scorecard is almost out there, and I can promise you that between now and the next 1 week, we are going to release a report cut across the 36 states of the Federation and FCT. And in this report, we are going to categorically state what each of these states are doing. And beyond that as well, also relating to the palliatives, the 2 billion naira that the federal government has released to the state. Part of what we are also doing is that we are looking at how these states are utilizing it. So in the report that we are going to release very, very soon, this is going to be part of it. One, what are the state government doing in order to look at the plight of workers in their state, and also how are they distributing the 2 billion naira initial palliatives that was sent to them. So this will, the report will come out before the end of next week, maximum.
Do you think that the state government are properly disbursing the 2 billion, initial 2 billion that have been injected into the state for palliatives?
Yeah, some states are. From what I could see from that report, some states are, but you still have other states that are not. Some states are not, but some states are. But just be patient a bit. You will see the report from the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria on on the categorization of these states. The states that are using it effectively, the ones that we don't know what they are doing, and the ones that we can't really say anything about.
There were people who were pessimistic.
Yeah.
Giving this money directly to the state is a problem.
Absolutely.
It will go into private hands.
Yes.
There are those who have attacked the governors to say, look, some of these governors, we use this money in the way that is not supposed to be used, yes, and these are going to be a political tool for the parties that are ruling the state. And there are those of us who think that give these state governors a chance, a benefit of the doubt. Let us see how they use it. Serap has come forward to say, governors, state government, be accountable. What have you used these monies for?
Yes. So historically, as you could see, historical perspective, you saw what happened in COVID. You saw when some monies were being released by the past government of President Muhammadu Buhari, that some of the states, palliatives were given to them. What happened to the palliatives? Some of them were getting rotting in the warehouses. And some of the monies that were released to them as bailout to the states to pay salaries, some of these states diverted the money. So that is why this time around we said, no, we are not going to wait until you fail, but we are going to chase you, we are going to follow you, and we are going to let Nigerians know the states that are using the funds effectively and the ones that are not using it effectively at all. When the report is out, you'll be the first to know. We are going to release the holistic report, and we're going to tell Nigerians what the state governors are doing currently with the funds that are released to them. If they are using it for other purpose, diversionary means that is not really what it's meant for. We also let Nigerians.
It was a sad scenario during the COVID period where we saw Indomie.
Yes.
Were being hoarded.
Absolutely.
And some of these things went to waste.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day. It's a sad one. But I understand that, you wear two caps tonight as the TUC president and also the president of PENGASSAN. And I know the efforts of your association. I saw that PENGASSAN is planning an energy labor summit. Yes. What is that about?
Yes, so last year, as PENGASSAN, we came together and we decided, the National Executive Council of PENGASSAN decided to start hosting Energy and Labor Summit on an annual basis. So the first, or the media edition of this summit was actually held last year, where we discussed issues that are relating to energy transition, issues relating to on crude oil theft. So that was the maiden edition last year. So we brought industry players together in order to look at these issues, and at the end of the day, a communique was released. At the end of the day, we use this as a basis for engaging government. So this year, between October 9th and October 11th, is going to be the second edition of this PENGASSAN Energy and Labor Summit.
That's from Monday. From
Monday to Wednesday next week. And the theme for this year is actually on the petroleum downstream deregulation, gas utilization for sustainable energy future. Because what we are trying to do is to look at principally the issue of gas. If you see today, Sheon, today Nigeria produced 33% of the Africa gas production, or rather reserves. We have about 208.83 TCF, which is trillion cubic feet of gas. We strongly believe that if we develop our gas infrastructure, if we develop our gas reserves and the value chain that will come with it, it has the propensity of lifting millions of Nigerians out from poverty. So that is why in this year's program, we are going to focus and zero in much more on gas development. We are going to zero in on how we could use gas to power the Nigerian economy. So we're bringing stakeholders together, we'll be bringing industry players, we'll bring them together for 3 days between Monday and Wednesday. Then on Wednesday, you know, as PENGASSAN, we also do a corporate social responsibility, a CSRO project. So this year, like we did last year, we are organizing an essay competition across the length and breadth of the country. So last year, we had essay competition for JSS1 as well as for SS1, where we brought over 1,000 people applied, and at the end of the day, we brought down 6 of them, and we gave them awards. We are doing the same thing.
What are you hoping to achieve with this?
Yes, what we want to achieve is to draw, because as trade unions, you know, in PENGASSAN, we have cream and de la cream of professionals in the oil and gas industry. So what we'll do at the end of the day is that we will harness from all stakeholders, from our members, there are various thoughts on what we could do in order to deepen our gas infrastructure and deepen our gas development in Nigeria. Sheun, the PIH came 2021. And this is the first time that we have a law that has said a lot of good things about gas, that has told us the way forward and the way to go about gas. So we want to see the 50 sections in PIE that are dedicated to gas. How far has government implemented this? What can government do in order to boost gas production in Nigeria? Because we strongly know and we strongly believe that when government invests or create the enabling environment for investors to come and invest in gas, what is going to happen is that our membership is going to be strengthened. What will happen is that the Nigerian economy is going to be better for it. Sheun, you know every year how much the NLNG pays to the Nigerian government as dividend. We strongly believe that there is a brass NLNG that has been in the state of comatose. Today, we have the AKK pipeline, we have the OB3 pipeline. All these today, we can deepen it and we can do much more so that the man living in Boronu, the man living in Sokoto, the man living in Kwara would be able to have good access to gas. So, what we hope to achieve is to draw the attention of government. You know, as labor unions, like we always say, that our last tool is strike. But first of all, we want to be involved in the policy making of government, in the process of policy making, so that when we come up with our communique, we will sit down with the Minister of State for gas, we will sit down with the Minister of State for oil, and we'll be able to push them and get them to act. We would not wait when all these policies must have failed, then we go on strike. No. As a responsible organization, association like PENGASSAN, and as a senior staff association, we must be, you know, at the forefront and at the vanguard of policy formulation and making our thoughts known to government.
So you have invited government people,
yes,
stakeholders in the industry.
Absolutely. Yeah, the National Air Company representatives will be there, the NUPROC, NMDPRO, NCDMB, these are all government.
Because then those in the private sector. The downstream that you have mentioned is in a total mess, which needs some form of reform. And a lot of people would think that even in the aftermath of the signing of the petroleum industry bill into law, we should be seeing some level of sanity.
Yes.
But it doesn't look, what do you make of the regime of the new, the Minister of State for Petroleum?
Yes, they are just coming in, so we are still trying to, I think they're still trying to settle down. So for us, it is not just about the Minister of Petroleum. We have agencies in the downstream. We have the NMDPROA, who is responsible for both the midstream and the downstream. So we have our members also working in that establishment. So we are encouraging them to do everything possible to unleash the gas infrastructure, to do everything possible to attract the necessary investment in gas development, not just gas enhancement and development alone, but also the value chain that goes with it. Sheun, you could realize that in Nigeria today, what is the population of people that are using gas in their homes? In Nigeria today, we are discussing about the CNG project. But all this could not be realized if there is no sufficient infrastructure along that value chain. So what we are trying to do is to draw the consciousness of government so that let them implement the PIA swiftly, most especially as it has to do with gas.
Right.
Because we strongly believe that gas could revolutionize the Nigerian economy. So that is actually the reason that PENGASSAN Energy and Labour Summit is focusing much more on gas development and the downstream deregulation this year.
And I mean, thank you so much indeed, Festus Osifo, President TUC and President of PENGASSAN. We are holding you and your colleagues in Labour accountable, and we are holding you because you have promised that you will hold this government accountable in terms of the disbursement of these monies. And in these 30 days window, we are hoping government will do the right thing by Nigerians. Thank you so much indeed.
Thank you so much.
I wish you and your colleagues the very best. Thank you so much indeed.